That's great. So, Erin, thank you for joining San Francisco Bay Area Moms today. And we're really here to talk about Carrot, which is so funny. I love it. And I know that you had Bailey, the cat, behind your first book. And he was pretty special in his own right. 14 years, I think that he was. So when he did pass, how did everybody in the family take it? How did the girls do?
Oh, well, my 2-year-old didn't quite understand.
Yeah.
My 4-year-old Abby was devastated.
Yeah.
It was one of the hardest things, I had to do as a parent at that time was explain to my, 4-year-old, your kitty's not coming home.
Right.
She adored that cat. So it was so crushing to see how upset she was. And so I felt like I needed to do something with her, and being in the home wasn't very helpful because she was just sad because the cat's not around.
Yeah.
So I started taking her to shelters, and we played with little kittens, little puppies, and that seemed to really help
That's
her.
Awesome.
Yes.
That's great. I actually, my daughter is 16 and we do that. She can't, she can't have a cat because dad is very allergic. So we volunteered at the shelter and, had to start with cleaning and, feeding and all of that, and then got to go into socialization. And we haven't been able to do that for the past year because they've been pretty restricted, especially here in California.
Yes.
So she is just like itching to get back and to play with those kitties. So.
They asked the girls at the shelter that they were at, they're just about to start opening back up story time with the animals. So they're thinking of having the girls come, read Carrot's book to all the other little kitties.
That's so special. Well, were you looking for another cat when Carrot came into your life?
So at first I was hesitant because I was so heartbroken, but then to see how devastated my, daughter was, I was like, I don't know if I could go through this again. And my husband even said that. He goes, that was one of the most awful things that, I've seen my kids go through, and my wife. And he's like, do you really want to do that again? And then I said, well, think about it. If we got another kitten, these girls will be teenagers and young adults.
Right.
At the time, they'll be off at college. If the cat lives a normal, life.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, yeah, I actually didn't, think about that. I go, yeah, I'll be a hot mess. But
right.
So I began but the thing was, I was hesitant because Bailey was so unique. And I thought there are cats out there that are not very friendly, that are skittish, that hide, that are definitely not Bailey.
Yeah.
And there's other cats out there that are sweet and stuff. Sometimes cats get a bad rap that they're all mean and hiss and all that. Yeah. So I felt, if we'd gone somewhere and I felt like some type of connection that, but then I decided it would be really cool to surprise them for their birthday with a kitten, because I wouldn't be expecting it. I always would say, no, Daddy won't let us have a cat, Daddy, even though I was just plotting the whole time that I was going to surprise them. So it was 6 months after Bailey died. Their birthdays are 6 days apart. And so I, had them opening up some presents, and the cat was already in a little cage, a little gated off area, just sitting in there while they're opening gifts and stuff. And the next thing I know, one of them asks, where did that big box go? Or something. Was it because I saw a big box be delivered? It was actually the cat's litter box. It was enormous. Where did that other box go? I don't know. Why don't you go look in the family room? And I go run in there, and I captured it all on video, just to see the joy and excitement, and the fact that they grew up with a senior cat. Now they get to grow up with a kitten. Kittens are different. Mm-hmm. The young, and so it was just so much fun to see them over the course of that kitten's life. Yeah. Being able to do, interact with, do all the fun little things you could do with kittens.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's so sweet. Because I was going to ask, I have seen footage of Bailey and some of the pictures in the other book. And I know that was a very patient and loving cat, and, dress up and all sorts of fun things. So did you have to help coach the girls along that Carrot might not be like Bailey?
Oh, yes. I warned them, if we ever got another cat again, that's not normal behavior. Cats don't. So you have to understand that all cats, it's very unlikely we're gonna have another cat like Bailey.
Yeah.
But within 48 hours of that kitten in our lives, I was creating an Instagram page that I never thought I'd be creating.
Right. Again.
Like, wait a second. Like, how did this happen? How do we have the same cat repeating history? Being pushed around in a stroller, doing this, being dressed up, sitting in his chair and getting its nails done, putting cucumbers on his eyes while we do spa day.
I love it. That is amazing.
I couldn't believe what I was seeing, that this cat was in a row, just sitting there, and the girls are just putting cucumbers on.
Yeah. It's like Bailey wasn't done with your family. It's, it's like
nope. He surprised us and sent us.
Right.
And I'm so glad. And the reality is, we would not have this kitten had it not been for Bailey, because it was somebody that followed Bailey on social media that reached out to me and said, I have kittens. If, mommy just had kittens, if your girls want to come play with them. And next thing I know, the shelter was calling me.
Right.
You liked. You want to come see them?
Kind of all fell into place.
Yes.
Oh. So how has Carrot helped you guys this last 12 months, like living through a pandemic?
Through the pandemic? Well, she's definitely given us a lot of things to do with her. They play school with her. They go outside and drive their little, toy car with her. I mean, there's so many things they do. They incorporate the cat involved with, and so when we were, in quarantine and not able to leave, we were always trying to come up with a different creative idea of how we can incorporate all 4 girls, including Carrot, into doing, different fun activities to make being cooped up in the home and not being able to go to all the things we used to do, a little better. And I thought, why not share it with the world and make other people smile and laugh? And so that's kind of what we did. And a lot of her videos started going viral. I mean, Good Morning America shared the one of her in spa day. They were calling her the most patient cat alive.
Yes. Yeah. That was, patient for sure. Yeah. Especially when those people associate, cats. Like you said, they have a bad reputation sometimes. So it's nice to see.
Oh, yes.
That's awesome. Well, I know April's coming up and it's Child Abuse Prevention Month. And I know you from your work in that field, and you're a force to be reckoned with, and especially from child sexual abuse. So how has being mom to 3 girls and that cat, or cats, both of them, how have they helped you in the work that you do and in your own journey and your own healing? How has that been?
Well, it's, it has actually been cool when I've traveled, to pass this law now in 37 states, to suddenly, I've been at this for 11 years, and to suddenly experience firsthand the letter coming home from my daughter's school saying your daughter's going to be taught this. Erin's law will be taught to your kids next week if you have any questions. And it was so surreal because it was something I worked so hard for. I had other friends from high school and college always sending me the letter from their kids' school, but to actually physically get it myself from my own daughter's school, it was really neat. But what's really cool with having the cat involved, she has 275,000 Instagram followers, and it is like an entire audience that I'm able to reach with my mission, with what I do, that I would never be able to reach, a whole audience that, I have all the child abuse prevention people that follow me, the parents. This is an entire audience of just people around the world.
Right.
And I'm now because my goal is international. Wonderful. So I tell people God brought little Carrot into our lives because he knows he needs to continue what Bailey was doing, and help me continue to reach people with what I do, because I'll share with them. I know you all think all I do is sit around and take videos of my cats, my cat and kids playing dress up and singing and dancing, and but here's the reality. This is what I'm really doing. Sometimes when I'm posting a video, that actually did not happen just then. I'm sitting in a Capitol testifying to lawmakers. Like I just did 2 weeks ago in Nebraska.
Did you? That's amazing. I
drove 7 hours to Nebraska.
Really?
and testified.
Amazing. Well, and I mean, animals are, they help people through trauma. So, those 250,000 followers, I mean, it's a great kind of equalizer and, something to reach somebody and kind of connect with them on a different way.
Well, yeah, and it's amazing when I open up, because I'll do things like 10 things about Carrot's mom that you might not know, because they're always seeing the girls and the cat. And so I will, because I'm always getting new followers. And so, I'll put this out there, and, this is where I tell people a little more of my history of what I do, who I am, that kind of stuff. And it's amazing that the direct messages I get, private messages of people saying, wow, I thought I came here to follow, I fell in love with a cat and these little girls, having no idea the incredible work you're doing. I'm a survivor. But people just start pouring their life out to me.
Yeah.
And it's getting them to write their legislators.
Yeah.
I got cat followers that are now writing their lawmakers and putting me in contact with, in the 13 states that this hasn't passed in. So it's really, really, really cool.
That's awesome.
I told my husband, I go, I'm so bummed because Bailey had 75,000 followers when he passed. And it's like, he was making so many really cool connections for me. And it was allowing me to reach an audience I never would have reached. And now here we are 2 years since he passed with a cat with 275,000 followers and counting.
Yeah. Cause you just never know who those people are on the other side and what connections that they have.
Yeah. You don't. And it's really, unique to be able to, and that's what's even cooler, because I have this vision of taking Erin's law international. We need to teach kids around this world, because kids are being abused. 1 in 4 girls, 1 in 6 boys by the age of 18 are sexually abused. That's here in America. I know it's different throughout, the country, the world, but, this is something that all kids need to be educated on. And all I ask for from these legislators is 1 hour out of a school year to teach kids personal body safety education. How difficult is that?
Right.
But I've always had this vision that I will get this passed in all 50 states, but I wanted to take it international. And I have so many international followers for the cat that I they're like, how can I help get your law in India? How can I help get your law in Germany and Sweden? So I communicate with all these people. This is where you need to start. Find out what the education system is like. Who makes the rules for education? And because I know how it is in America, but I don't know these countries.
Yeah.
So it's really neat.
That's awesome. That's great. Yeah. I'm a darkness to light facilitator and instructor.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And so I did a training in Japan, actually training new facilitators. And it was a Marine Corps base. It was Awakuni, but still it's, so even if you can have that kind of reach, and it's in another country at least, and, hope that it's just continues to spill out, and that awareness and, what is needed is, it's just so important. So I appreciate you for all the work that you do. And so thank you.
Yeah, there's, like I say, there's so much silence around the issue, and it needs to be spoken about, because, society, we put a bright light on, stranger danger, when 90% of the time kids are not being hurt by strangers.
That's right.
Talk about suicide prevention, internet safety, bully intervention, lockdown drills.
Yeah.
We do all this stuff, but when DARE, 8 ways to say no to drugs. But I asked legislators, why are we not teaching kids the 8 ways on how to get away until today? It needs to be done, because without it, kids are being abused. They're not being educated to speak up. They're being educated to stay silent. So they stay silent and don't come forward until they're 30, using drugs and finally telling somebody why they went down this path.
Right.
Because of what happened for years in their childhood.
Yeah.
And that's, I can't end child abuse, but if I can end a kid's horror after one incident, or the grooming process, that's 10 times better than, the next 6 years of it.
Right. Yeah. It's amazing. And the fact that we have to continue to, bring it up and keep talking about it, it's a little disheartening that it's not, but it's getting there. I really think it is. And it takes people like you, and it takes a special cat like Carrot to to connect with
Cat
people.
ambassador.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. So you've got the pinwheel in April, and then you're gonna have Carrot, who's gonna be, the
And her birthday's in April.
well, there you go.
April
That's
1st.
perfect. Oh, that's perfect. I didn't
Yep.
know that. Oh, that's great.
Yes, April 1st. So it's all so fitting.
It is. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And what's the title of the book, Erin?
The title of the book is The Diary of a Cat Named Carrot. And it's basically tells the whole first year of her life in the form of like the cats talking to you, writing the entries.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's almost like it's all like the voice of the cat, speaking in describing, its daily adventures with these girls, holidays, her birthday, when she was adopted, when I surprised them. We even, right into about the middle of the book, do a reunion with her and her mom that she hasn't seen since she was 10 weeks old and was adopted. And the shelter that we adopted her from helped me put in touch. And the woman drove out to my house because I wanted to capture that for the book.
Oh my goodness.
Her seeing the mom again and not recognizing mom. And it wasn't until after a while of them being there and they were putting the cat away that I describe how the cat is like, suddenly it dawned on me. I remembered that smell and realized, and I really try to promote throughout the book the same way I try to promote about the prevention of child abuse. My message theme throughout the book is asking people to adopt, not shop.
Right.
To go to shelters. They're, overflowing with animals that need to be adopted, that don't go to these pet stores that charge you thousands of dollars for dogs and cats. Yeah. Go to the shelters and adopt. And so that's kind of the theme I have throughout the book, because we adopted her, and that's kind of the message Carrot ends the book on.
That's great.
People too.
Yeah. And look at how much joy that she has brought to your life.
Oh, yes.
And your girls. So
it's
that's
fun.
Awesome. That's great. Well, thank you, Erin, so much for your time today. I really appreciate it.
No, thank you.